3 Theological Theories of Justice. Lebaqcz presents 6 theories of justice, 3 philosophical and 3 theological. As the author readily admits, these are far from exhaustive and are instead different approaches to the very complex concept of justice. Using the analogy of the blindfolded persons exploring the elephant by touching 3 different parts, very different conclusions will be reached as to what the elephant really looks like. In a similar way, by touching different aspects of justice, very different definitions of justice can be reached, which have far-reaching implications for healthcare policy. In this lesson, you will engage 3 theological theories of justice as presented by Lebaqcz: a Catholic response, a Protestant alternative, and a liberation challenge. The first theological view presented by Lebaqcz is a Catholic perspective on justice, to each according to their dignity as creatures made in the image of God with duties and rights consonant with that image, and spelled out in a threefold notion of justice, and the requirements of justice are derived by embodying a faith-based vision of justice in traditional philosophical and theological principles of duties and rights. In stark contrast to Nozick, the Catholic view argues for the common good rather than the individualistic approach that emphasizes individual choice and individual responsibility. The second theological view presented by Lebaqcz is a Protestant alternative as found in the writings of Reinhold Niebuhr, who stresses the role of sin and the tension between Christian love and justice. Justice can never be achieved in this world, an approximation only. For Niebuhr, as interpreted by Lebaqcz, justice is, to each according to principles of freedom and especially of equality tempered by love or equity, and the requirements of justice are derived by the faith-based, the principle of love, compromising with the realities of sin. For Niebuhr, both the Catholic and liberation theology views have too optimistic view of human nature. The third theological view presented by Lebaqcz is a liberation challenge based on the liberation of theology of Jose Porfirio Miranda from South America. Liberation theology writers are from both the Catholic and Protestant tradition. Miranda's view of justice as understood by Lebaqcz is to each according to God's interventions in history to liberate the poor and oppressed, and the requirements of justice are derived by biblical confirmation of Marxist analysis of injustice experienced by the oppressed. Lebaqcz, pages 118 to 119. Miranda is a challenge to the Catholic bishops and Niebuhr understanding of justice. Niebuhr would have been seen as too pessimistic, thus leading to inertia, and the bishop's view would not be placing enough emphasis on helping the poor and oppressed.